chocolate problem with dramatic, romantic gestures. You need to send a box of chocolates, or buy flowers, or take your wife on a trip to Rome, or do something that gets them to walk in and say, you won't believe what happened. The most romantic thing. That's what restarts conversations. The best example I can think of solving the chocolate problem is Google, specifically Google Maps. So think back to the first time you saw Google Maps. You're like, oh, these are nice. They slide around. Remember MapQuest? North, 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 west, west, west. And then suddenly, Google Maps, like, cool. So you tell everybody Google Maps are cool. Everybody told everybody. And then you're done. Conversation's over. So a few months later, they need to solve the chocolate problem. They need to restart the conversation. They need to give us a new romantic moment. So they give us satellite view. And each and every one of us looked at the top of our own house. And we go, oh, that's my house. And we emailed all our friends. And look at the top of my own house. And they restarted the conversation. They solved the chocolate problem. And then we got tired of that, so they gave us live traffic reports. And then they gave us ultra creepy street cam. The curtains were closed when the Google truck was filming down your block. And you think about these, some of these are really useful. Live traffic reports, better maps. Some of these are totally useless, the street cam and the satellite view. But the purpose is romantic gestures that get us talking about our sweetie. They restart the conversation. So remember, a word about topic is not a brand message. It is not necessarily even a product attribute. It's just a reason to talk. Now the next step is you've got to help your lovers spread their love and share it. Pillow talk is great, but no one else knows. It's just the two of you. You tell the people in your office that your sweetie did something for you, your office mates know. But if you get them to post it on Facebook and tell everybody, you start to get scale. And these are the tactics of word of mouth that we're going to talk about today. This is why you put your videos and your ads and everything you've got on YouTube, because people like to share videos on YouTube. And if they want to talk about you, that makes it easier. And this is why you put your copy and your offers and your messages and your stuff on Facebook and MySpace and Twitter, because people like to share stuff on Twitter. And this is why you put your logo on a hat or a shirt, because if people want to wear your logo on a hat or a shirt, by all means, let them run around and advertise you for free. Anything you can do to let people share, however, whenever, wherever they want, is how the word of mouth scales. This is another area where there's good math that we miss. If you got a bigger brand, let's think about just the tell a friend form on your website. Let's say you pay $1 a lead for search engine leads. But a lead from a tell a friend form, it's a much higher quality lead because it comes with the personal endorsement of the friend. Say, hey, come check this out. So if you got a big website, 100,000 people a day or something coming to it, and you can get 10% of them to email a friend, or you can get them to optimize at 1%, but they send it to 10 friends, or whatever you can do. Start getting 10,000 tele-friends a day at $1 a piece. That's a $3.6 million in leads in a year you would have paid for. But you can get it for free. If you think about that, tele-friend form is not the other thing on the website, but is the point of the whole thing, is to get our customers to share with our friends. And that's real math, that's real money, and it's a reason to take word of mouth seriously. Now the final step here, if you want to find love, you must get off the sofa. You must leave your house. You're not going to find love by yourself at home in the basement. You've got to go to a party or a disco or a tweet up or whatever it is. You've got to meet your mom's friend's kid, whatever it takes to make friends. Then if people are out there blogging about you and talking about you and sharing about you, you've got to be a part of that conversation. You've got to answer people. You've got to engage. You've got to communicate. You've got to make friends. That's what this is all about. It's not going to happen if you sit there in the advertising department and just fire off messages. You got to be a part of the community. And it's you've heard a lot about this stuff, but this is this is what it's about. And everyone sort of agonizes over the first step. And the first step in getting out there, the first step in talking to people is every time somebody says something nice about you online, go in the comment box and say, thank you. We really appreciate it. And if you're a brand and people talk about your company and you acknowledge their existence and you're the only person who's ever been to their blog, they're, oh my God, someone read my blog and I wrote about a company and they said something nice back to me. I exist. I've been validated. And they write another post about how awesome you are. And now you just doubled the word of mouth. They'll sit there and stay on the web forever. And this is how you start to build a story. And so it brings us to this big finishing idea here. This idea of would anybody tell a friend? This is a question that you need to start asking throughout your company, every department, every person. Would anybody tell a friend? And really, would anybody tell a friend about this product or this service? Because if they won't tell a friend about this, if they won't jump up and say, you gotta see this, you've got to change it. You've got to make it wonderful, bigger, smaller, goofy, awesome, smelly, interesting, something. You've got to give it meaning. You've got to give it a purpose. You've got to make it matter to somebody so they run out there and tell a friend. Because making a good product isn't good enough anymore. Because everybody makes a good product. You've got to make a product worth talking about. You've got to start asking this question. Are we remarkable? Do we have a purple cow? Are we awesome? Because you only have two choices right now in the world to communicate with people. You can be interesting, or you can be invisible. And you only have two choices. You can pay people to talk about you in the form of advertising, or you can be so awesome that people fall in love and they want to tell everybody about you. Advertising is the price of being boring. And advertising is the price you pay because you can't answer that question, would anybody tell a friend about us? Put this everywhere. Ask this question. Be honest about it, because this is the thing, this is the question that raises the bar. That makes you look at yourself and say, how can we be better? How can we serve people better? How can we be a more wonderful company? And the payoff will follow. And that leads to another interesting question, which is, are you having fun? Because if you're not talking about yourself, no one else is going to talk about you. Then you've got to get to a point in your career, in your company, in your products, where you wake up every day dying to tell people about what you do. Where you wake up every day popping out of bed thinking, I got to share this. That you've got to say each and every day, am I doing a little something somewhere to make it better? And this is a theme that we talk about a lot. For us, better is the simple idea that companies that are nice to people make more money. Simple idea. And every day we're presented with 1,000 choices. 1,000 choices to help somebody out, or fix a problem, or remove some red tape, or step in and help, or step out and get out of the way. To each and every day find these little choices to fix these things that are wrong and make it better. And we can't change the world, but as you start to fix little things, in each of these little quality moments, interesting things start to happen. That people like you better. And it becomes nicer to go to work. And people start talking about you. And your company starts to grow and thrive through the power of word of mouth. That there are so many big, giant, complicated things wrong with the world right now that we can't fix. But there are a million little things every day that we can fix one or two of these. And this little process, these choices to be better, is how we make it better. And how good times and greatness return. And that's what all of this stuff is all about. The simple idea that making people happy is what it's all about. That customer happiness, a dedication to service, thrilling people, having fun is how we thrive and grow and win and build wonderful companies and have wonderful lives as citizens and consumers. And this is what it's all about. So find a way to make people smile and then go out and make some love. Welcome to Super Genius. I'm glad you're all here. Thank you for coming.